State just filing a lawsuit against the federal government, trying to keep it from blocking his state's plan to drug test food stamp recipients. And John, he agrees. In order to get the green, people should prove they're clean, huh?
Absolutely, because the message it sends. Look, the bigger problem we have here is 17 million people were on food stamps in 2000. There's 47 million on food stamps right now, almost a threefold increase. That's absolutely disgraceful. We're not doing anything to break generational poverty. To break generational poverty, you don't just give them handouts. You teach them how to adapt in life. People cannot get a job in most companies if they can't pass a drug test. So you need to start teaching them now. You need to be drug-free. This is a good way to do it, to allow them to get those food stamps.
Chuck.
This is not only dumb, it's dumb and cruel. You don't want to do this to people who are trying to lift themselves up. If you want to really save somebody, it's going to cost you 3 times as much money to drug test these people. If you want to save some of your tax dollars, let's drug test Congress. And everybody who fails, they're out of here.
Nobody is going to disagree with that. But Jonas, you actually disagree with this idea.
Yeah, I agree with everything John said except the part about the drug testing, which is, I guess, the key point of it. Look, here... Food stamps are not a reward for being drug-free, okay? They are a reward. They are because you can't afford food. If you want to means test it and save the taxpayer money, then all you need is a scale, because a lot of people who get food stamps are obese. At least that directly deals with the issue. You are subsidizing food when they have too much. When you start bringing drugs in, you're basically just bringing up stuff that voters want to hear, that don't like people on food stamps. It has nothing to do with saving the taxpayer money or making the program efficient, or they would address drug addiction with disability people. They're getting paid because they can't get a job. Well, then they should be drug tested, because that stops you from getting a job. You can be a drug addict and hungry.
Gary B?
Well, I disagree with John on this one. This is basically another form of government as nanny. So maybe I'm agreeing with Chuck on this one. Look, the government doles out a lot of money. Do we then start drug testing the people that are getting Medicare? Do we start drug testing the people who are getting Social Security because the government deems that this is wrong and this is right? Look, I think there's a lot of problems with the food stamp program. There's a lot of fraud there. There's a lot of waste, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I draw the line when the government has to come in and start telling people of any persuasion, whatever their means, how to live their lives.
Okay, I want to get Lisa in here, but I'm writing that down, what Gary said. Disagreed with John.
Well, and I disagree with Gary. And look, the real irony here is the federal government is the nation's biggest drug tester. Look, what Scott Walker is trying to do is give people a hand up, not a handout, and that's why he has job training programs in place. But look, the majority of businesses in this country drug test. College athletes are drug tested, professional athletes are drug tested, and sometimes high school athletes are drug tested. So there's nothing controversial here.
Right. Okay, that's got to be the last word. Thanks, guys, and especially thanks to Lisa and Chuck for joining us. We love having you. Up next, how much